I forgot to put the audio because there's too many things. Hi. Hi.
Are we unmuted now?
Yes.
Okay. Good thing we have a captioner.
Look.
Good thing we have a captioner.
We never claimed to be good at streaming.
Something, something. Are you a streamer if you don't run into technical difficulties? Something, something.
This isn't technical difficulties. This is Sharky stupidity.
It's human error technical difficulties.
That's not a technical difficulty.
That's listed as a root cause on my on call root cause thing. Is literally human error. That's one of the options. There's a lot of other options.
Perfect.
But that's one of the options is human error.
Perfect. I don't remember who's who, what's what. I don't have. You're gonna say open up the thing. I don't have it open.
I have it open. You're the narrator, because I'm MC.
I was about to say, I think I need to be reading this.
Yes.
We walk through the forest, listening to the buzzes and chirps of insects.
I mean, you're gonna be the narrator, and I'm gonna be talking to myself for probably the first at least one stream, right?
Yes, I get to sit back, relax, and fall asleep.
And narrate.
The blue-white light of the moon shines down on our path, and the trees cast shadows that fall over us as we walk.
This is why we stopped having MC and narrator be the same person.
Because there are streams where I'm like, why am I even here? Satan solo stream, let's go!
No, you mean there are streams where you were the one doing all the talking, like that dream dive.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was looking back, I was like, should I take this? And you're like, yes!
Well, that was also when we went, like, sometimes we'd go, like, longer.
Yeah.
And it was just like, my throat's dead. Also, I wasn't used to it nearly as much as I am now.
Also, back before you, like, had a job to wake up early for.
Yeah, that's true. That was before I had a job I had to wake up early for.
Or was it during your previous I thought it was...
It was during my previous job where if I went in or not was kind of just up to me. And honestly, I would have gotten paid either way. They wouldn't have realized I showed up.
Anyway.
There's nothing out of the ordinary about this, but for some reason, this night has an air of mystery about it. I feel like the more we walk and the further we get from reality, Yeah.
Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, but it was the inflection I said it.
Wow, you care about the inflection. I'm so proud of you.
Okay, so I should butcher the next line so badly and continue. Is that what I'm hearing?
Is the next line mine?
Dang it, it is!
Yeah, go ahead, butcher it.
I meant my next line.
No, you said the next line.
Read your dang line.
Dot.
So good. This is why we stream together. We're not nearly as funny.
We're not nearly as funny, what, together?
No, I went solo.
Yeah. That's correct. I'm not funny.
Yes, you are. You're hilarious.
I just bounce off you.
Like, why are you bouncing off of me? You're not a bouncy ball.
Are you sure?
Yes, you're a bat. Why am I still using the Halloween logos?
That's a great question. Why are you?
I don't know. I keep forgetting.
I mean, I always use it. No, because I just kept it.
Well, you don't
Halloween all year.
you don't have the paladin up.
I don't. I don't. That's because I didn't bother saving it.
I like every time I stream, I'm always like halfway through. Right, I still have the Halloween's ones up. I should like change them out before next stream, and then by the time I'm done, I'm either passing out in bed or I'm like, okay, I need to like go play something that doesn't require me like voicing.
It's because when we did the guest streams, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna move these around, and then I ask people for their icons, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think you asked for icons. You just move the things around.
No, I have the one for Mick.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I have the one
Well,
for
then you
Mick.
have no excuse. You were already messing with icons and you just forgot to change
Yeah,
yours
I
then.
literally just hello
Speaking of
Mick.
Mick, hi Mick.
Yes, literally speaking of Mick. Speak of the Mick and they shall appear.
I was the devil.
I didn't say the devil. I said speak of the Mick. And there's a duck. I do
You
appear when
appear.
mentioned. For some reason, this thought causes me to stop in my
No, you're not the
tracks.
devil. I'm the devil.
Also, I wasn't going to say speak of the devil because it then is he shall come. That's not appropriate.
Huh?
Mick's not a he, Mick's a they.
Yeah. What if I become a he?
I mean, that's up to you?
What's the matter? We walked for quite a while. Are you tired? No, it's not that.
Ah, yes. Reebok store clear water.
It can be whatever you want if you put your mind to it. I would hail the demonic. You could be a trans agender devil. I support it.
Ugh.
No one says we shouldn't change the pronoun of the saying if we need to.
But also, Mick's not the devil.
Yeah, I am. I'm also not a he. For now. Thinking about going with any pronouns. Also fair.
That's also fair.
But I don't want to get he. That's also fair.
Yeah, no, that.
Yeah, it's very much what you're comfortable with.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I see. Is something causing you concern?
Welcome to the stream where Sharky doesn't do a lot of talking.
Sharky narrates.
I say that, and now the next line's mine.
Mm-hmm.
I shake my head again and look out into the darkness of the night. Hello, darkness, our old friend.
You know, we always say our old friend or my old friend. What if darkness wants to make new friends?
We're not stopping darkness. We're just old friends with darkness.
Where are darkness's new friends?
They're called babies.
Ah, yes. Hello, darkness, my new friend.
Waiting for the Satan cover in baby speak.
We keep going down this path. Will we arrive at your hideout? Yes, it's still a while away. I see. But it just feels like the forest is too quiet.
So quiet. Twilight jumps out and attacks you.
What?
A wild Twilight appears.
No, that was Nemo. This is the Pokemon trainer, remember?
Yes, that is true. That is very true. That image is still the best.
And the gritty one's the worst?
I actually showed the Nemo one uh to one of my friends in the tabletop group, and she looked at it, she's like, I think I watched that show. And I'm like, oh no.
Like, the code realized anime or what?
I think I think that's what she meant.
Huh. It's making me uneasy.
The Code Realize anime? Yeah. From
Yeah, did you see that screenshot comparison I showed?
yeah, I saw that recently. I was like because it's not that far back in the history, I saw that and I'm like, it still looks terrible.
And I'm like, granting, right? Animation versus still.
Yes.
And like, I, yeah.
Budget,
The impactfulness of it comes from the fact that it's a still.
like, budget has to be spent on a still rather than a full episode.
Yeah. And I
Like,
mean, just like, it'd be really hard to animate
yeah.
with all of that shading and everything.
Uh-huh.
And part of the impact of that is the starting on the zoomed in part of the still and zooming out and it just staying there.
Yeah.
So you can't recreate that with anime. That said, has there ever been a good otome anime adaptation?
I'm still
I
like
watched the Amnesia one and
I
it's a mess.
I was gonna say I watched I think like 2 or 3 episodes of the Amnesia one, and I'm still like, you're really gonna start out at that point and then go into the whole mess? Like,
It's a mess because Amnesia, right? It has all the parallel worlds.
yeah, like
So they just have like you go through like one or two pivotal scenes of each route,
yeah,
and then you just suddenly time change into a different route's universe.
yeah, yeah.
Suddenly, you swap. I don't remember if Orion's even there.
I think I don't remember.
I don't remember if he was, which makes me think he wasn't. Because as it is, the in the game, he's kind of in MC's mind as like
Yeah.
a pseudo narrator.
Yes.
Um, but that's more of a game mechanic almost.
But it's
It's like a
still just
game
like
thing.
it has like a cold open and then start jumping through worlds, and it's kind of just like,
Yeah, it's a mess.
you're really not going to like give
And
us
each character only
downtime.
gets what, like 40 minutes total or something? 40 to 60 minutes.
It, there's really no like downtime to try to like,
Figure out what the fuck's going on. Yeah.
yeah,
Making me uneasy.
because by the time you like are starting to be like, okay, whoop, new world, who dis?
New trauma. Who dis?
Yeah.
It's the way of forests at night, when one is far from civilization.
Can you hear the crickets?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure because I'm looking at the desktop audio and like it's not even making an impact because they're so
And
quiet.
it's pretty quiet, but yeah, I hear them.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Can chat hear them?
Stay quiet for a little bit.
I am Sharky. Just stealing your role.
The only reason that made it funny was because of the ending.
Dude. Quack. Provides a sense of alienation making a traveler feel like a trespasser. We were in the crowded city of London until recently, so I'm sure this feeling is even stronger in you.
I nod in response to his words. There is a white butterfly flying along in the moonlight. It flutters for a bit, then disappears into the night, never to be seen again.
It would have been best if I could have prepared a carriage for our journey, but the roads are so rugged.
I'm like, why are you pointing out a random butterfly? What it what?
Hmm? No, it's all right. I was just in a daze.
Perhaps it's because I'm in unfamiliar territory. I feel a growing sense of unease within me as we walk. Saint-Germain continues to walk along, saying nothing unless I speak to him first. Really suspicious there, Saint G.
No, it's Saint G.
Oh yeah, Saint TG's really sus. I look at him from the side, and he has the same peaceful smile that he always wears. But something makes me wonder.
I think it's funny that you pointed out before, right? That like Van Helsing in the little chibi in the extras just says Van because that's what they nickname him in Japanese. And then so he's Van. Saint Germain is just San, and then uh Victor is Fran.
Oh, jeez.
We've got Impy Lupin, or Impy, Lupin, Van, Fran, and San.
Sounds like a bad boy band.
What the name of it be?
Yeah. Yeah. Seeing him in the moonlight in this way, he seems sad to me.
um, yeah, but
Um.
it's cute because Impy calls him like San-chan. And the for Victor, some of the other characters always call him a Steinhakase, which is like Dr. Stein.
Take the Franken out of it.
The funny thing is, no one in Japanese actually calls him Victor or Vic or anything. It's Fran or Stein. They took the Ken out and they took the Victor out. But then for some reason in English, they're like Victor. Yeah, they're all just going to call him Victor all the time.
I will be right back. I need to grab some food.
And like by their logic, really, I think Victor should have been called Vicky instead. But I guess they were. Well, I think Impy calls Victoria Vicky at some point. So I guess they didn't want that to be confusing, but they also I don't know, they could have just not called him Victor. They could have gone with some play on Frankenstein. They didn't do that either. Hi, Mug, who has one back paw on my legs and otherwise is not standing on me at all. Now, why are you doing that? Now, why would you do something so silly, Mug? Is Sharky back?
Yes, sorry.
I'm
I
glad that the weather tonight has been so agreeable.
I put my plate down and it hit the controller and then it was like continue.
Huh? The scenery looks all the more splendid on nights when the moon shines so gorgeously. It's very pleasant to be able to walk alongside you like this. I only wish we could be walking together under different circumstances. Different circumstances? I mean, at a more peaceful time. As long as twilight is after us, we can't afford to really take our time.
Saint-Germain's words stay with me. All he's saying is that he wants to walk through this place with me, but his words feel precious to me.
Anytime. If you don't mind, I would like to walk with you too. Yes, of course.
That half second of getting to know voice.
Hmm?
There's like a half second pause before the new voice comes out.
Oh, sorry, I was checking my phone. I'll put it down.
No, you're fine. I was just noticing. I would just like swap, and I was like, do voice. And I'm like, ah, yes, the voice calibration.
No, it was the phone check. It was the phone check delay. I'm sorry.
What were you checking your phone for? Hmm?
See if the latest Twitter notification was on that same tweet or on a different one, and it was on today's tweet instead.
The tweet
Ooh.
of just now.
Yeah,
Y-
yours.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the big one last I checked was higher number.
I haven't really checked it, but it's basically trickled away now.
Yeah, I mean
Twitter decided it's too old now.
last I saw it hit over 25.
Well, yeah, it has been for a few days.
Yeah, but like I said, that was the last time I saw.
I think it hit 25 on Wednesday when we were streaming with Pi
Oh wow.
around that time. And then it's been a few days
Yeah.
where it gets like a couple bumps now, but it's basically stopped. I think Twitter's like, this is like a week old now, and people don't care about things that are a week old.
People barely care about things that are like a few hours old sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, the Twitter algorithm itself is, I think, like, yeah, this is like 3 days old now. We're
Yeah.
gonna stop spreading this around.
Uh, until somebody else gives it a massive boost and then it starts passing around again.
Yeah, but I guess like say Tumblr, things could be popular for like
Yeah.
a week plus because Tumblr just shows the most recent from
Yeah.
whoever you're following. So, and Tumblr has an auto like queue thing so that you can put out like X number of posts a day from your queue spread out across however many hours
Mm,
so that you're not just like spamming other people's feed, right? Because if it's just showing the most recent and you're the one who's the most recent and you're putting like 10 reblogs,
yeah.
then suddenly whoever's following you has like 10 posts from you in a row. That's a lot. So in order to not overwhelm people's feeds, you can queue them up. And so sometimes, depending what your queue settings are at, because the maximum number of posts that can be queued, I believe, is 300 or so.
Jeez.
Um, but I think it goes up to 50 a day max.
Wow.
So that can mean that like a post could not get reblogged from you for like a week if you queued it up and just or even longer because you don't have to do 50 a day.
Yeah. Wow.
Um so it could take a while to spread that way.
Saint Germain says nothing more. Once again, there's nothing to hear but the sounds of our footsteps and the background noise of the chirping insects. I don't feel any awkwardness or discomfort in this silence. Now to sit here in silence for the next 10 minutes. Kidding. It's a peaceful, calm... Brain blanking on word.
Sound
Reverie?
it out, Sharky. Sound it out.
Is it reverie?
I think so.
That makes me feel like I could keep walking like this forever.
Actually, it's a Paul Revere.
Ah, yes. A
Peaceful, calm
peaceful,
Paul
calm
Revere in
Paul
London.
Revere in London, yeah. Uh-huh. However, a thought crosses my mind. I don't know anything about this man. I'm walking through the woods in the middle of the night, but I don't know anything about him. He's crossed some dangerous bridges for me when I'm essentially a complete stranger to him. He even allowed me to live in his mansion when he didn't know who I was at all. And now he's come this far with me. I wonder why. What is his motivation? The more I think about it, the more confused I become.
Dot, dot, dot.
I steal a glance at him. I see only his peaceful, composed smile, the same as always. But at the same time, it seems to be a veil hiding something. It's as if he's avoiding becoming more involved with people than he has to.
Saint-Germain?
I want to know more about this man, and hesitantly raise my voice. Maybe now he'll be more willing to open up to me than he normally would?
What do you think of me? Oh, right. There's 2 bad ends in this chapter. This is the only choice in this chapter that does not have a bad end.
Okay, good. So, it's the top one, right?
Uh-huh. What do you think of me? You?
Ah, crap, I'm eating. I took a
What are
bite.
you
I
from?
I took a bite. I assumed you had more lines.
Nope. That's a bad assumption.
Look, when I'm only the narrator, I assume I'm going to have a little bit more time.
That's a bad assumption. The narrator speaks all the time.
These two should talk to each other more. It seems that this was an unexpected question for the Count. Uh, Unexpected question. For the Count cocks his head to one side. I think about how best to explain my question and choose my words carefully.
Right now, I don't really understand myself. Ever since I saw those bodies that could have become me at my father's underground facility,
Am I a monster after all? Sorry, I'm trying to finish my food.
Sharky.
What?
This is what you get for assuming the narrator wouldn't have lines.
The narrator should shut up.
No.
I recall the events of that night and look down, my voice trembling.
That's why I wanted to ask you. I want to hear it from you. Dot, dot, dot. What did you think when you saw them? What did you think about me that day? Well,
My shoulders tremble with more than just the cold. But Saint Germain gently places a hand on my shoulders and smiles.
I was a bit surprised, but I wasn't frightened at all. Really? You didn't think that it was disgusting or creepy? Don't be absurd. I saw your actions with my own eyes. I heard your words with my own ears. That's everything. As far as I am aware, you are the kindest and most charming lady I know.
Grabbing more food. Be right back. Entertain chat.
I don't know how to entertain. I don't know how to entertain. I'm just here. Sharky has left me, and I don't know how to entertain on my own. This is why I don't stream on my own. do 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 do. How is everybody? Yeah, how is everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. Have you considered singing? Singing just happens. That's not a consideration. It just goes.
What? What? What?
Huh?
What?
It was yeah. What? What?
No, what did you say before that? Have you considered singing?
Um, how is everybody? Hope everyone's doing well.
And how did that lead into have you considered singing? Hold on.
uh
Hold the phone here. I think you're missing
you'll have to
something.
check the bot.
I think you're missing something. Oh,
You'll have to check the bot.
I don't know how to entertain on my own. Now that makes sense. That is a line that we both say when it's
Yes.
just solo.
Yeah, when one leaves for the other to entertain, and I go, I don't know. And then I go and get a snack, and I'm like, Sharky, entertain the masses. And you're like, I don't know.
How does one talk?
I don't know.
Hearing the confidence in his words makes the unease and fear I've been feeling melt away. Even if the Count is lying to me, and his honest thoughts lie elsewhere, for now I want to enjoy his thoughtful lies.
We should probably figure out what's up with the chat box thing.
Ah, yes. Or move over to a different chat box thing.
If there's another one we can use, yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna assume there's another one we can use. I just don't know.
there's plenty of ways. I just don't know them off the top of my head or how to get them
I will
working.
implement my own API calls.
Okay, go for it.
No, I won't actually.
Go for it. Make it compatible. Let's go.
I don't have that kind of time. I'm working on another birthday collab project.
Oh, for good lord!
Which is supposed to be in like August, but we're working on it already. And I have regularly scheduled check-ins like every 2 weeks.
Wow, that's
I was
that's
like,
excessive.
that's a lot. And each check-in is like, oh, you're supposed to have hit some certain milestone of progress.
That's
I'm like,
no,
that's not
no.
necessarily how this usually works for me, but okay.
As we walk through
Um,
this moonlit forest that seemed just out of touch with reality, I listen to what the Count says.
but yeah, in addition to that birthday collab thing, I also have the so we did 1 year celebration and then almost immediately hit the 2,500 follower mark. And then we're like, okay, well, um, friend's mom is visiting. I'm sick. Just generally, June is going to be a busy time with all the Pride collabs and stuff. So we're like, okay, we'll hold off and we'll put up the next milestone prompt list thing when once things like slow down. Um, and then she caught COVID, right? And so within the next few days, probably, we'll also be doing that prompt list. And I think we're taking 20 this time.
Good Lord.
We did 26 the first time, and we're like, okay, that's too many. Then we did 16. Then we did 10. But with 10, we didn't even get a lot of the characters. So now we're kind of going back to, all right, let's do like 20.
Oh, good Lord.
Because I also didn't want it to be like, all right, we're getting lazier and lazier about this. So we have 25 prompts in the list, and we will take 20 requests. So this, I'm like, I don't have time to write the API to call stuff to have the chat box work from scratch. I don't know how to do that.
Magic.
Last I checked, I was the one who helped Magic with their programming, actually.
Oh, right. Well,
I don't know if
and then
Magic
we
can.
have this stuff that's Monday nights now.
We do, and we have the stream 3 times a week.
And
I'm like, I don't. What's
I'm more likely to have the time to do it, but then I'm always just like, but I want to play Fire Emblem Warriors for 50 hours and not get through any of the story.
you know what you should get through? The story for Twisted Wonderland.
Oh, right.
None of my friends are caught up.
Right.
There's I was messaging my friend last night. Like, you have to catch up. Destroy the gender binary Vil is best. Best Vil. I'm gonna read a couple quotes out of context because it was amazing.
You mean the knockoff Kingdom Hearts game?
Where's the quote? All these girly twisting motions. I don't want to do those. I'm sorry, what was that? Are you seriously gendering movements? And I was like, wow, amazing. That's right. You can do any dance move you want. It doesn't matter what your gender is. I was like, yes, good. Destroy the gender binary stereotypes and stuff. Vil. He's the best. That's the best Vil. The part 2 just came out. Also, book 5 is going to be 75 chapters, apparently.
What?
Yeah, part 1 was 21, and that was about the same as each of the previous showcase things. So, as they were splitting it up, where each character would come out, like showcase would come out with about 20 chapters. No. Part 1 was 21 chapters, and the Rook showcase.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Part 2 just came out. It's the
Yeah.
Apple showcase. Goes up to 44.
Yeah, I did get the
Which means
notification
that
part 2
Vil is
came out.
gonna come out with 30 chapters.
Holy
And I'm
crap.
like, guys, Twisted Wonderland writers, please take mercy. You have to understand, this is a mobile game. Why is your story the length of an entire movie?
It's a
I
lot
had
to
to
go
back
through.
for that Beanfest 2 event thing, because my roommate had not gone through it in time.
Yeah.
And so you can actually go back through the archive to like go through past event story stuff.
That's good.
So I just shared it with her. Yeah, we like watched on TV. And
Yeah.
usually like we'll watch something on TV as we're like eating dinner or something. So I just put that up. It
Mm-hmm.
was literally like 2 hours long. For an event.
For an event.
Not even
Yeah.
the main story. For an event. Because it was like 40, right?
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was about 40. And then this current one, which is the main story, is fully voiced. So it's even slower, I think. Is going to be 75 chapters.
Jeez.
For one book.
We don't expect people to
I'm
catch
like,
up.
whew.
We don't expect people to catch up. We expect them to be behind forever.
No.
The travels he tells me about are also mysterious and strange. He speaks of a desert nation and hidden treasures. A nation to the north locked in year-long winter. A nation filled with gold. Even though the scenery around us doesn't change, I don't grow tired of it at all.
Hmm?
I notice that the ground at my feet looks brighter. I look up and see an opening in the tree canopy through which I can see the stars. I'm taken by its beauty and I stop walking, the better to stare up at the night sky.
Oh, and I forgot to read the chat comment. We start out with good intentions and end up making a transcription bot that just posts text of the Iliad when it hears something.
Man, I never finished the. No, no, I read all of the Iliad.
I think we read parts of it in school and we read the Odyssey in full.
I did. I never finished the Odyssey.
Do you see something? The sky above the forest is so bright and beautiful.
I was the boring person who, um, uh, like my roommate, 11th, no, 10th grade or something like that, or 12th grade. One of her readings was Beowulf,
Ah, yes.
and I was in a different class, so I didn't have that reading, and I'm like, can I borrow that? Can I borrow that? I would
I think
rather
we
read
read
that.
snippets of that as well when I
I
was in 12th grade,
I was like,
senior year.
I would rather read that than what I'm reading.
What were you reading?
Animal Farm. I mean, that was the year I had
Like,
some.
should I be surprised that they let you read Animal Farm at that school?
Like, we read some pretty good ones in 12th grade. That was the year we read Frankenstein. We read Lord of the Flies.
Did you read any more, like, contemporary type things or, like,
Contemporary.
not quite contemporary?
Contemporary.
I think one year, one of the one of the summer reading, I think, options was like Native Son, I think, one year. And then there was what was it? Like was it called Glass Castle or something? I think.
Never heard of it.
About like let's see. Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to think
Um
of the.
come on, where's the synopsis? Um
That was 88.
yeah, it was published in 2006 and I think this was my maybe '07 or '08 summer reading
What's it
about
called?
like it was a memoir and I guess her dad was like a an alcoholic and he was like struggling on and off to like quit and some other things. It was a pretty good book. The year
Uh,
was Native Son, 1940. So that's not contemporary per se.
the
And then there's
newest book
another
I read.
one.
I'm trying to think of one of the books names that I read. In 10th grade, as like the one about um Nazi Germany, and I can't remember what it was called. Book Thief.
Mm, wait.
That was the
Oh,
newest. That's the newest book that I can remember reading in school, which I like that one.
see. I think
Mainly
when did
because
this one come
it's
out?
it's narrated by literally death.
Here it is. When did this one come out? This book came out in 2007. I think this was the other option.
What's it called?
Um, was The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. Uh, as like um basically like Native American stuff.
Hmm.
Like young adult Native American story.
Mm.
Um, very like contemporary kind of thing. Let's see. The description is best-selling author Sherman Alexie tells the story of Junior, a budding cartoonist growing up on the Spokane Indian Reservation. Determined to take his future into his own hands, Junior leaves his troubled school on the res to attend an all-white farm town high school, where the only other Indian is the school mascot,
Ah.
etc., etc. There's some other stuff. There was another one I think that had like a red cover and like a little dog on the cover, but I don't remember what the
Hmm.
title of it was.
Yeah,
But
I'm trying to think of some of the other books that we read, but like a lot of them I'm like I don't these aren't like newer books. Like the only other two that I can think of that might have been like newer were 88 and 90.
now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, is it that they chose newer books for summer reading?
Summer reading where I read The Count of Monte Cristo and The Crucible.
You know, every time I hear Monte Cristo, I'm just like,
And
a sandwich.
what was the other one?
Every time I hear Monte Cristo, I just think of the sandwich.
And Out of the Dust, which I hated that book.
Oh, I think I had to read Into the Wild. Was it Into the Wild?
Oh, what was the other book we read? I read Count of Monte Cristo and then another book because they assigned us two summer reading books. I don't remember the other summer reading book in that same year.
Yeah, I think it was Into the Wild that I read, which was published in 97
Mm.
and was about rich white guy leaves behind family and life to go live in the wilderness on his own, eventually dies of eating a poisoned mushroom. The end.
Wow.
I mean, it's a little bit more than that, but that's basically it. Is some white dude was like, I am tired of my life in this capitalistic modern society, whatever. Leaves his life behind, fucks off into the wilderness, tries to live on his own in like a van, eventually eats something he shouldn't have eaten because he's a like privileged white guy who's living in the wilderness for the first time and absolutely does not know what is
Yeah.
actually safe or not to eat. And, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
mushrooms especially are known for like, don't pick your own mushrooms in the wild. It's so hard to tell. It's so hard to tell which ones are like the safe versus the not safe ones. They can look really, really similar. Don't do it.
Yeah,
Just
do
don't
not
fucking do it.
exactly.
So, wish I could have the privilege to do that, right? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and then he dies. Like spoiler alert, but you know, it's this book's from 97, whatever.
I
Um,
remember in 8th grade we read the last Narnia book as one of the books for class because of course my school did that.
of course. We read the play A Doll's House, I believe.
Never heard of it.
Do, 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 do. The play concerns the fate of a married woman who, at the time in Norway, lacked reasonable opportunities for self fulfillment in a male dominated world,
Ah.
despite the fact that Ibsen denied it was his intent to write a feminist play. It was a great sensation at the time and caused a storm of outrage controversy that went beyond the theater to the world of newspapers and society. Blah, 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 blah. Where's a good synopsis?
Talking about summer reading to the sound of crickets.
Oh, no, this was like actual in class
Oh, okay.
stuff. This
Talking
was part of
about
our curriculum.
talking about English school reading to the sound of crickets.
Um, Guys, don't give me like a 4 paragraph per act summary. I'm just trying to get.
Like summarize the entire thing real quick.
Okay. Nora Helmer once secretly borrowed a large sum of money so that her husband could recuperate from a serious illness. She never told him of this loan and has been secretly paying it back small installments by saving from her household allowance. Her husband, Torvald, thinks her careless and childlike and often calls her his doll. When he is appointed bank director, his first act is to relieve a man who was once disgraced for having forged his signature on a document. This man, Nils Krogstad, is the person from whom Nora has borrowed her money. It is then revealed that she forged her father's signature in order to get the money. Krogstad threatens to reveal Nora's crime and thus disgrace her and her husband, unless Nora can convince her husband not to fire him.
Mm.
Nora tries to influence her husband, but he thinks of Nora as a simple child who cannot understand the value of money or business.
Oh my
Thus, when Torvald
gosh.
discovers that Nora has just forged her father's name, he is ready to disclaim his wife, even though she had done it for him. Later, when all is solved, Nora sees that her husband is not worth her love and she leaves him. And I think it ends with, and then she walks out into the ocean.
Well, that's one way to end it. Oh,
Hmm.
okay then.
Yeah, it wasn't clear because I think she was like, oh, I see like an island or something off in the distance or something. I don't know. But she like walks into the fucking ocean. So she probably dead.
Wow. What else did I read? Oh, it's so hard to remember what I read in high school.
You know what I definitely read? This line.
I know, but we've been talking about books.
We have been. I hardly remember most of these, though. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
I'd have to go back and reread them at this point.
I remember specific books that I enjoyed reading and would sit down and read again.
I also wonder how many of the books I enjoyed then I would be so annoyed at now.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I, I mean mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Walking out into the ocean.
that is a mood.
Just like the wish I was privileged enough mood to just fuck off out of your life to go live in the wilderness.
Yeah, yeah. Everything's all of that's just a mood. I continued the box. Now it's just on you.
That's because we've come so far from the lights of the city. It makes the stars seem that much brighter. So I was checking some other stuff because some people owed my roommate money from something last month. But we took a trip, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
this one of the people on the trip put together like a spreadsheet for figuring out who owes what and who paid for what and everything. But it ended up that the way she did it confused people more. Because basically it was like a system of like these are the expenses that we all owe for.
Yeah.
and like split evenly across everyone. This is whatever it was. Then she put a lower section of like credits. So if you paid for anything, it counted against those expenses and whatever. And so I think how it was supposed to work was that however much you owed in total, you would pay to like one of the people who had like a positive balance because they paid for something big. Like I paid for the Airbnb. So basically I hardly paid anyone.
Mm.
I ended up paying a bit back to my roommate because I think some people overpaid me. Um, but then when you put in like, okay, I paid that much, so like now people owe me. So when they paid me back, they were supposed to put like money towards like their individual balance or whatever. And then um like put another number in the sheet, subtracting it from what I was owed. And it was just supposed to be like, okay, this is your balance, and you're just canceling it out against mine. Um, Instead, people looked at the expenses and like half the people just individually paid each other for each thing,
Wow.
and half the time, they also neglected. They would add the balance thing so that theirs evened out, but they would forget to add the subtracting thing from like my side or from someone else's side. So it was a huge mess.
Mm.
And so at like, what time did I do this? 2 a.m. on a Wednesday.
Of course you did it at 2 a.m.
Of course I did. So I guess Tuesday night actually. Um, I was going through the spreadsheet, like fixing it because the balance had like a little box at the bottom that was like this number should be 0. And it was at like 600 or something
Wow.
because whoever it was, like they paid back the whole Airbnb and car and everything. They didn't take that out. So, it was like 600. So I was like, okay, you guys got a lot of things wrong. So I just saw a thing, or I just saw a message in Discord of like also following up on that stuff. And
Mm.
I'm just trying to make sure that she got paid back correctly.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
The sky itself never changes. Yes, it does. Very gradually.
Stop correcting the dead person.
What?
Saint-Germain stops as well and looks up with me, narrowing his eyes at the brightness. His eyes are always closed, so I don't know how he narrows them.
He squints with his closed eyes. He closes them more.
Oh, yes. Double closed eyes.
Yeah. You've heard of a double lid eyelid. Double eyelids. Now get ready for doubly closed eyes.
Ugh.
No matter how civilization advances, and even if we figure out how to touch the sky itself will likely never change. Not ever.
I wonder what the Count is thinking. He has his usual smile, and he says this quietly, without looking in my direction.
Miss AC, would you mind if I vented about something?
Oh man, he's more suspicious. He's going in a vent. Hi, here to make all the bad jokes.
Not at all, but why all of a sudden? It's just a whim. Long ago, I made a terrible mistake. I chose the wrong path. The wrong path? Someone as smart as you? I'm far more foolish than you think. That's the reason why I've been regretting the decision I made. To this day. I swore to never commit that crime again, all the while knowing that I am already committing a different crime. A crime?
Saint-Germain nods, with a quiet light in the depths of his eyes. What happened in the man's past? I try to ask him, but he cuts me off with his usual beatific smile.
But this is probably not the proper time to be bellyaching. Well, all right, but if you do want to talk about it, I won't mind. Let's continue some other time. I'm sorry to cut this conversation short when I was the one who brought it up to begin with.
Do y'all not know how to walk and talk?
No. Do you?
In high school, it seemed not. I remember hanging out with friends and we would start walking, and then the minute we started all talking to each other, we stopped in place, and it's just, and then we made comments like, "Why aren't we walking?"
Sorry.
He says this with a smile, then starts walking again. A mistake. The wrong path. A crime he regrets. I wonder what exactly he means. Almost an entire day later, we are still walking through the forest, simply moving forward without sharing a word between us.
Dot, dot, dot.
I'm about to ask Saint-Germain how much farther we have to walk when I see a building beyond the trees. We're finally here. My mood brightens as I continue walking behind him. My feeling of relief gradually changes into one of shock as we get closer. Soon. I stand astonished in front of the building, now right in front of us.
Is this your mansion?
The building before us is a familiar-looking mansion.
Are you surprised?
I can't even find the words to respond, and all I can do is nod.
Why? Did we circle back around somehow?
Saint Germain just has 5 identical looking mansions in a circle.
What? No! This place was built to the exact same specifications as the mansion we were living in.
Ah! You don't want to pay for a new art asset. I see. Good lord. See,
You said that, and I was like, I know what's coming.
it would have been funnier, though, if they did just circle back around. But gosh dang it.
No, this was just, I had another mansion built exactly the same.
How much land does he own?
Just as Lupin has many hideouts throughout London, I have several mansions of my own as well. That all look exactly the same.
I was joking, Saint Germain.
The number of times you have joked something stupid and this game's just been like, what was that? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of too high.
You had a nickel for every time that happened.
I would have
You'd have
4 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's still weird it keeps happening.
So the interior is the same too. Mom, what was that? Oh, baby.
I think I heard that.
I think baby's got a hairball. He came up to my lap and then put his chin on the table and started like
Oh no.
um sniffing, and then he jumped down and now he's on the ground trying to expel a hairball, I think.
Mm.
Oh, baby. It's okay. Are you okay?
Cats be doing cat things.
Yeah, hairballs. Okay, now he's walking away and he's not actually expelled a hairball yet. Are you okay, Mug? Oh, baby. Oh, my baby, who sounds like he's in so much pain over a very normal hairball.
Oh, Mog.
Well, now he's just purring. I think he's okay.
Okay.
We'll see. Yes, there's not much of a difference. In the past, I would use most both mansions, depending on the mood I was in that day. Ah, to be so rich. Once again. Why are you specifically turned towards my computer now?
Because he really wants the stream to hear it.
No, he really wants to throw up on my computer at that point.
I see. That's why. My mind understands, but it still feels sort of strange to be seeing a building so similar to the other mansion. If he switched mansions based on how he was feeling, why would he need to make them identical?
August's just struggling. He has not been able to expel the hairball.
Mmm.
Now he's just flopped over. He's just like, I guess this is my life now. You seem unconvinced. It's just, why would you build them both exactly the same? Because I like it, I suppose. I may not look the type, but I have difficulty sleeping if so much as my pillow changes. And if I make them the same in every regard, I wouldn't need to change my lifestyle at all. I did like to switch between the two as a change of pace, but I'm not too fond of changing my routine too much.
So rich, can afford multiple mansions that look exactly the same.
So that he can actually just not change anything, but the location. Yep. It sounds complicated.
Eat the
Have you ever
rich!
considered that you're too rich?
Eat the rich!
I'm quite moody.
He says this in a satisfied manner and smiles a little wider.
Either way, this is the perfect place to take cover from foreign enemies.
Because they can't tell the difference.
Well, they could barely find the first one.
Yeah.
Herlock found it, but like no one else really could.
Herlock's special.
You would need to know this forest well in order to find this place. There's plenty of food stocked here, so it would make for a great hideout.
But no Impy to cook it.
Yeah, you'll just have to do. I see. I'm also like, is this pre-refrigeration times? Like, how much food is just preserved food?
I look up at the mansion again. From the outside, it doesn't seem any different from the mansion we had been staying in. Everything from the shape of the building, the color of the walls, and even the metalwork on the gate is exactly the same. But Lupin and the others aren't here. No one will greet us when we come inside the doors. Far from the comfort of my friends, we're going to live in this place that no one knows of, quietly hiding from the world. Isn't that the same as when I was waiting for my father, alone in my old home?
Dot, dot, dot.
I look at the open gates that stand in silence.
Miss AC.
Ah, yes, Mississippi.
Yes. We have Impy and Miss Ippy. is Zippy.
Oh, you can kind of see the eyes.
I think that's just the hair over that.
No, it's possible.
Do you have any reservations about this? Would you like to return to the old mansion?
Saint-Germain?
Saint-Germain stares at me. As the sun sets in the west, he turns to me and asks me to make a decision. It feels the same as when we first met, but there is a loneliness apparent in his expression.
If you decide to live here, there will be no turning back.
Yes, there is. We have a rewind.
Your decision to distance yourself from everyone and hide so as not to involve them in danger is not a poor one.
I'm queer. I can't make decisions.
I was like, I saw the first part and I'm like, okay.
I was like, yeah, we know that
Yeah,
you're queer
like-
because you're also ace.
Like, yeah.
No.
And then the second part
an
came
O.
in. I mean, yeah, making decisions is hard.
The question is AC queer?
That's a question.
Kind of. I mean, technically, she just lives in a mansion with a bunch of guys, but we don't know that if there was another female character in the house with them, that she wouldn't also romance them.
I already forgot if you read this.
However, it would not be a mistake to trust them should you choose to fight alongside them.
Mick's comment made me forget. ...
The entire way here, ever since I met you, really, I have been thinking. What is right and what is wrong? I've been unable to come to a clear distinction between them as of yet.
I think you need a fruit for that.
Hmm? A fruit?
That Bible joke.
I was like, what? But we're fruity and we can't make decisions. I thought we are the fruit.
Gosh dang it, gosh dang it, gosh dang it.
What do you mean?
He always has a smile and never loses his cool. No matter what the situation is, even when he's stabbing my brother through the heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I thought Saint-Germain was. But as he says this, he doesn't have his usual composure. He seems to be torn about something. Is he paper?
Maybe. I mean, have you looked at his hair?
That's why, though it may be irresponsible of me, I would like you to decide whether to stay here or go back. Neither choice is wrong, so it's all up to how you feel. Please, make a decision that you won't regret.
I don't know why.
We're gonna make a decision that we're gonna immediately regret.
Because it's going to be a bad end?
Yes.
But I feel like this decision will have a significant impact on my future. I am going to
Want
save...
to save. Have friends.
Have friends?
Yeah, I choose friends.
That's the bad end?
Yeah. Because you're choosing them instead of him. Right?
I guess.
After this bad end, I'm gonna run and get a snack. And more coffee. I want to go back to the others. This place, it's sort of scary.
How is it any more scary than the other one that looks exactly
Because
the same?
it's empty! It's scary because they're not there.
You lived in a home alone for years. You're used
Yeah,
to
that
the
was
empty.
also fucking creepy.
Oh yeah, it was. Could it be because walking through the forest made it feel like we were lost in a mysterious world? Or is it because Saint-Germain looks like he wants us to go back for some reason? So that's why I answer the way I do.
I'm sorry. There's no need for apologies. I'm sure it's the right decision.
I bow my head in apology, and Saint-Germain responds with another of his usual smiles.
Now that that's settled, let's hurry back. It may be difficult to go back down the path we came.
It'll be fine. Even Lupin and Van Helsing were surprised by my endurance. This is a piece of cake.
No, it's a walk.
Cake.
That's all right. Shall we go then?
It's very difficult to read Saint-Germain's expression, but he seems a little relieved to me. And so, we continue to travel, taking the same amount of time that it took to get here. It is late in the night by the time we arrive at a familiar road. Then, Saint-Germain suddenly stops walking, and I stop as well.
What's the matter, Saint-Germain?
This is as far as I go, Miss Acey.
What?
There's something I have to do with the other mansion. Can you continue the rest of the way on your own?
Saint-Germain looks at me with concern.
I trust you know the way. I hope you don't get lost.
That won't be a problem. The street looks familiar, so I'll be fine.
I'm glad. Well then, as it's quite late, it would probably be best if you hurried back. And I hope that the path you've chosen is filled with peaceful light. You have my sincerest prayers.
Saint-Germain says this with a smile.
When will you come back to us?
Let's see. Tomorrow morning, at the latest.
And then Saint-Germain died.
Be careful now, my sweet lady.
He takes my hand and kisses it over my glove. Then he turns and leaves. The next day, Saint-Germain doesn't appear at the mansion, even after nightfall. Nor does he appear the next day, nor the day after that. I never saw Saint-Germain again after the night we parted ways.
I feel like he's gonna go all yandere. So I did mention before, he's not exactly a yandere route, but he is the closest thing to a yandere route in this game.
I continue searching for clues about Father, along with Lupin and the others. But sometimes I find myself thinking, what if I'd stayed behind and gone to the other mansion with Saint-Germain? Would Saint-Germain not have disappeared then? Would we still be together? And although I wanted to find out, I would never know the answers. But we will know the answers! Ha ha ha!
Yeah. Game end.
How many
He just vanished.
How many bad ends does he have?
2 in this chapter, 1 in the next chapter, 1 in chapter 12. So 4? He has 4 bad ends.
And half of them are here.
Yes.
I'll just go to this next line and then you go get whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna get snack and coffee and stuff. Your turn to entertain the crowd.
Was that entertaining? I don't know. The last time this happened, we talked about books for a half an hour. What's next? We're going to talk about Gremlins? So has anybody played any fun games recently? That's what I should ask chat. Oh, I hear a cough. I've been playing Dragon's Dogma. I remember I think I played a bit of Dragon's Dogma years ago. I think I got like 3 hours in and I was like, I did not, like, it did not mesh with me. The last fun game I played was trying to find time on my calendar of all the things I want to do. I didn't win. Fair. Very fair. I think it was Dragon's Dogma was the game I played. I knew that they announced a second one. Yes, it was, because I remember the Hydra. For some reason, I specifically remember the Hydra. I don't remember anything else. And I think I finished that, and I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. It just didn't mesh with me, and I don't know if it was because of the way that the combat was, or if it was something else. The beginning is rough. Okay. So it may have just been the beginning is just rough, and it wasn't like the fun type of rough.
The last fun game I played was trying to find time on my calendar for all the things I want to do. I didn't win. That's a mood.
Also, I have a copy of Fire Emblem coming on the 12th. Yes! Yes! It takes a bit to get started. That's fair. Fire Emblem 3 Hopes is so much fun! After the stream, I'm going to be playing some more.
Been very attached to it. Yeah.
I want to at least get one like full thing, because it's the same thing of like there's 3 different stories.
Yeah, they did that with Fates, and I got all 3, and then I didn't finish any of them.
Well, at least with 3 Houses and 3 Hopes, you don't have to buy separate games.
I know.
I'm sad Byleth is the antagonist. That kind of makes it fun, though, but he's also not real. At the point that I'm at, like, he's not... They're not really the antagonist. Since I did not finish a Black Eagles run of 3 Houses, and I'm doing a... Were they Blue Lions? I forget what they were called. Dimitri and the gang. I'm hanging out with Dimitri.
Here. I left the mansion to come to this place, and even if Lupin and the others aren't here, you are. I don't know what you're so undecided about. But what you say has always been true. That's why I'm going to trust you. I see.
He seems unable to articulate a reply too clearly. Oh man. I do love the amount of himbos in Three Houses. There are a lot of himbos in Three Houses.
Really?
Oh my gosh. There's quite a few number of himbos in Three Houses.
Okay.
Like, at least a house will have at least one.
Wait,
But
I think I told you, right, that like for the longest time I didn't actually realize that himbo was supposed to be a play on the word bimbo.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, what? Well, now it does sound really derogatory. That's not.
Yeah, I was about to say, the best one is Raphael. Who just
Funny.
really, really wants to garden.
That's funny.
And,
Because
like,
there's a
dote
character
over his
named
sister.
Raphael in Obey Me now because they added him in like December.
Uh-huh.
But he's one of the angels. And he is
And now people talk about them boats.
don't know that Thembo works as well.
Raph and, Caster. Yeah. This is such a departure from his usual demeanor. He lost the ability to reply. Oh my gosh.
As opposed to other times when he stands there silently, purposely not replying.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But before I could ask him the reason why, he looks over at me again. There's a whole graphic for himbos? Wait, what?
Wait, what? A graphic?
That's what I'm
Like-
wait, what?
What?
I've seen the one from like Tumblr. Yeah, it's like a Venn diagram, but I haven't seen that one. I've seen the one from Tumblr that is like, oh, this person's like beefy and kind. This one's beefy and like stupid and like all that stuff.
No, I feel like I've heard that the requirement for a himbo is beefy, stupid, and kind.
Yes. I have the Tumblr one where it's like, only kind and beefy? That's a hunk. Only beefy and stupid? That's a jock. Kind and stupid? That's a decent man. Okay, yeah.
Wait, so beefy and kind, but not stupid is a hunk?
Apparently, yes.
You know, I don't feel qualified to disagree, I guess.
That's why I said
Considering that I
apparently.
didn't understand that himbo came from bimbo, which makes it sound way more objectifying. I'm like, I don't know. Because in the first place, it goes back to that assumption that like women like beefy, bulky guys, and I like no, half the time that's just a male power fantasy.
Yeah.
It like never occurred to me that it was off the word bimbo, which is like obviously objectifying.
I feel like it's one of those things that got reclaimed.
Also fair. Because I had issues with it.
Ah.
Mm.
I don't remember I read this, so I'm gonna read it again. But before I could ask him the reason why, he looks over at me again.
Well, then, shall we enter, before I change my mind?
He says this sternly, as if he's speaking more to himself than to me. The Count begins walking slowly towards the front doors of the mansion. We really want to reuse art assets, please. Please, let us just reuse these art assets.
They're flipped. You know, they flipped it. It's fine. It's fine.
Ah, we get to see it from a new angle! The mansion's interior is exactly like that of the mansion we left a few days ago. It's not just the walls and doors. They even got the squeaky floor panel on the stairs. Everything from the curtains to the lampshades is exactly the same. The only difference is that I can't sense anyone else here. And of course, the personal belongings that Lupin, Van Helsing, Victor, Impy, Cece, and Deli own are nowhere to be seen.
The personal belongings of Cece?
Yes! A dog bed? Yeah.
I feel like at that point it's someone else's belongings that they
No. It's
Cece.
Cece's dog bed.
I
Don't
don't think
minimize.
Cece went out and bought it.
Don't
Okay.
minimize Cece's belongings.
Okay.
The absence of their things really stands out because everything else is exactly the same. And this difference feels very significant to me.
This also implies that, like, Saint-Germain always leaves his pillows and everything in exactly the same place. Like, he sits in a sofa and then adjusts the pillow back afterwards to exactly the same.
I wouldn't be surprised. And then there's like Impy in them who are just like toss their bodies down and just leave it, and Saint-Germain just like, let's put this back to where it goes.
Anyway, so I think we're gonna hit the second bad end for the end of today.
Oh, okay. And that would be a pretty good stopping point.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know, when you say it like that, that doesn't fill me with anything but fear.
I did say it's a bad end.
Not like we haven't stopped on bad ends before.
I know.
When it's time to eat, the meal on the table is far more luxurious than what we had expected. Wait, how close is the second bad end?
In this chapter, I told you.
Yeah, but that could be like 3 hours from now. You know how we play.
We're getting there.
Saint-Germain put together a quick meal using the food and storage.
Like, as long as we don't immediately now go on a 30-minute tangent, well, we should get there.
Ah, so to talk
What
about
might be
gremlins.
This is what Impy makes.
Time to talk about gremlins for the next half hour.
You know, Sharky, you really disappointed me. I was hoping I could just be like, what's a dice set that you wanted that you didn't get yet that I can get?
And I'm like, I don't save dice sets. I don't have like a browser like favorite collection of dice sets I want to own at some point. Because if I see them and I'm like, man, but I really want them, I will just buy them.
You don't just keep a wish list of them?
No! No, I don't!
Maybe you should, for me, for my sake.
You just need to get in the habit of being a dice gremlin.
I don't have that habit. You know what habit I have? Being a tarot card gremlin.
Shiny math rocks go click-clack.
Shiny tarot cards have pretty art.
I shake my head as Saint-Germain carries the food over and sits down. I was
tempted to get one of those dice tower things though. They seem fun.
I was hanging out with my roommate at one point, and we were talking with one of my roommate's friends, who talked about how they bought a tarot deck, but all the designs were based off of the city we're from.
Yeah.
And me and my roommate were like, wait, how does that work? And they sent us the listing, and we're like, oh, okay.
Does
Okay.
it have the full deck?
Yeah,
That's impressive.
I believe it had the. It wasn't just the There was.
Major.
Yeah, it wasn't just the major. There were minor in there. I don't know if it was
You
the
know,
full,
I
but
feel
there
like,
were minor.
like, I don't have a camera and I don't want a camera and I don't. This is the problem. I'm like, I would love to do like tarot stream or cooking stream or something, but I absolutely don't want to be on camera.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do a cooking stream and not be on camera.
Yeah. All right. If I could somehow hook up my desktop in my room to have a camera for the stream all the way in the kitchen.
I mean, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, so I was.
You're not gonna have a USB extender that long.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, if it was just like my hands on one of those like top-down view cooking things.
Oh, like when people do Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh card openings.
But like, that's not gonna connect all the way to my room.
No, that would be an absurdly long USB connector.
Should you
Like-
position it to just show your hands, like set up a top-down webcam? For tarot, maybe, but then
Yeah.
I'd have to find a space on my desk to put.
Yeah, like that's literally
more doable. My room's also really dark.
Yeah,
But I also don't own a webcam for it.
I
don't intend to get one.
I do own a webcam.
All right, Sharky cooking stream.
No, again, my room is very far from the kitchen. No.
Well, I
but-
can't suggest a Sharky tarot stream.
Also, there's no, like, the webcam is on my monitor. There's no location where I can put it where it could be top down.
You get a headband and you put it on top of your head. And you just look down.
No! Also, my room is also quite dark.
Anyway,
Because I don't have ceiling lights.
come on, let's get to this bad end.
I have one lamp.
Now, some people use wireless webcams for that very thing.
Yeah, wireless webcams are a thing. I shake my head as Saint-Germain carries the food over and sits down. The warm soup has a complex flavor, and the bread tastes so good. It's hard to believe that it had been preserved. But also, I would not do a cooking stream, just me. I wouldn't be like, Satan, don't do that, but like, Satan, do whatever you want. Me, no. My webcam's basically... My webcam is basically only for therapy at this point.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm like, I have a webcam on, like,
laptop.
built into my laptop, but my laptop dies after about 20 to 40 minutes now. I don't know.
Even when plugged in?
Battery. Well, not plugged in, but then it has to be plugged in.
Yeah.
Well,
you wouldn't want to stream where it's unplugged. That would be a bad idea.
Yeah, well, it might crash at that point.
Yeah.
Even plugged in. I don't know what happened to the battery. It's so bad now.
I mean, batteries go pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a way I can get it fixed or if I just have to get a new laptop.
Depends on the laptop. Places don't sell laptop batteries is the thing to, like, consumers is the problem. Because I know, like, yeah, some laptops, like, yeah, you can replace that. It's actually not that hard, seeing as I've done it. But it's more that, like, they don't sell it to consumers. But...
What's the matter? You seem sad. Is the taste not to your liking?
I hastily shake my head in response.
No, I was just thinking that it feels a bit lonely in here, that's all. We always used to share our meals together.
At Saint-Germain, you didn't do the prayer.
He,
You're right. We are missing the lively atmosphere that we used to enjoy.
I think of something and make a suggestion to Saint-Germain.
How about if we were to tell Lupin and the others about this place?
Wait, but didn't you literally leave to not...
okay, but now she's having dinner and she's lonely, okay?
Like, you left for the reason of... I don't want to stay there and, like... Gosh dang it, AC.
Oh, I thought that you didn't want them to be involved anymore. Yes, but I feel a little guilty about leaving them without saying anything. Lupin and the others might search all over for me if they think I've been kidnapped. I think it would be good to tell them that Twilight is still moving forward with their terrorist plot. Kidnapped. That may not be too far off from your current situation.
Well, Lupin did kidnap us, that is correct.
Huh? There's the eyes.
Oh my gosh. We're seeing the eyes, only bad things happen. Saint-Germain sighs lightly, then stares at me.
Unfortunately, you won't have the opportunity to tell them. There's no way they would catch on to this location either.
Saint-Germain continues speaking casually, as if stating things that should be evident to anyone. The lights in the room create shadows across his face. Because of this, Saint-Germain seems a little different from usual, almost like a stranger.
What do you mean?
I built this mansion so that it would never be found. That's what makes it a hideout.
What is it? Have a cloaking device?
Lupin and the others are all highly competent experts in their fields. But that's by the standards of ordinary humans. They will never be able to get you back.
Ah, now I see why you said this is the closest.
It's the nearest thing to a yandere route. It's for the yandere fans, but they're like, all right, yandere can be kind of fucked up, and we don't encourage abusive relationships here.
Or dog cages.
Abusive relationships. Or are you trying to suggest that putting someone you love in a dog cage is not an abusive relationship?
No, that's very much an abusive relationship.
Saint-Germain, what are you talking about?
Everything is already in motion.
Why, yes. That's kind of how, like, the world works. The world's spinning and everything's technically moving. The Count speaks in a composed voice, carefully constructing his sentences to lay out the facts to me.
There is no turning back now.
For some reason, I sense something terribly cold in his gaze.
Seems that Impy and Victor were able to construct a machine that could track the poison let off by the Horlogium. I have already destroyed that device. There is no way for them to trace you to this place.
And you think they couldn't rebuild it?
They might need a sample of the poison.
Does Victor not keep some?
He might not have. If they were assuming that she was still going to be there.
True. He
Because
doesn't.
she just left without saying anything, so...
He doesn't answer my question and continues speaking in a level tone of voice. The silence between us is punctuated by the strong wind outside, shaking the windows.
There is one thing that I must apologize to you for.
Saint-Germain goes on in his usual tone. His composure makes this all the more unsettling.
When you were trying to leave the mansion alone, I told you that Twilight was still after you.
Yes, that's why we're here now.
That was a lie.
The vampires and werewolves are not after you.
What?
Dennis was the leader of Twilight. I killed him in the underground lab, giving him a temporary death. After that, I gave him a permanent death in secret. Twilight has no reason to come after you anymore.
You did what now? Hold the phone!
I gave him a permanent death in secret. What's up? What's wrong?
He did a little throw out the imposter here, Saint-Germain.
He already openly killed Fitness, so is it really a...
The imposter can be open about it. Temporary
I haven't
death,
played Among Us in a while.
permanent death. I can't comprehend the meaning in his words.
Really? Then why did you do this? There was no reason for us to leave the others behind.
In response to my question, he smiles his usual peaceful smile.
Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to speak to you about that.
Not allowed? By who?
My boss. Saint-Germain simply falls silent.
Dennis's ambitions have been stopped. Twilight will likely be placed under Queen Victoria's command now. However, none of that carries much significance. The only thing that is meaning to me now is...
The Count's smile grows more kindly than ever.
you, Miss Stacy.
He seems to see right through me. I feel chills run down my spine, and I try to stand up when... He drugged us? He just drugged us?
Is he a bad guy? Look. It dips very severely into yandere territory before it turns around. I've been warning this, yeah?
Yes, you have.
Because I don't want to give outright spoilers, but
I feel intensely dizzy, unable to deal with this sudden turn of events, and with my body suddenly weak, I topple forward and crash onto the table.
Saint-Germain, did the food...
Did the food contain some kind of drug? I try to finish my sentence, but my mouth won't form the words.
Oh dear, you seem to be exhausted. Understandably so. We've walked for quite a long time.
Saint-Germain rises from his seat and slowly approaches me.
I'll carry you to your room so you can get some rest.
He speaks to me fondly, as though nothing out of the ordinary is happening. This is definitely unusual, but I can't escape. I'm unable to even move my mouth, and now am slowly losing the strength to keep my eyes open. My eyelids grow unbearably heavy and slowly close despite all my intentions. Then, unable to resist at all, I am scooped up into Saint-Germain's arms. My body sways. My consciousness is fading, but within that haze, I understand that I'm being carried somewhere. My mind simply cannot keep up with the events that are happening to me.
Ring a roses. Do you know this nursery rhyme?
Saint-Germain's voice is kind, like a lullaby, and I wonder if he realizes that I'm still partially conscious. But I have no way of knowing whether or not he is aware of that.
Ring a roses, pocket full of posies.
I don't know what the fuck happened with this translation right here.
Yeah, that's, not...
Ashes, ashes. We all fall down.
That is...
A tissue.
Ah,
A tissue.
Ah, a tissue, a tissue. We all fall down.
Yep.
It's a very cheerful sounding song, but there is a theory that it's also a very cruel song. The roses symbolize the symptoms of the Black Plague, and posies in pockets were carried as herbs used for protection.
Also, the a ring of roses,
Mhm.
roses.
Yeah.
It's
Some
close.
someone fucked up with the translation right there, and no one apparently caught it.
It was close,
It was close enough that I went on with it anyway,
but
but
a tissue.
a tissue, a tissue. We all fell down. I get
I guess they're trying to be like a sneezing
a
sound.
chew. They
Yeah,
didn't say a chew either.
yeah.
Sneezing was an early symptom of the plague, and everyone falls and dies in the end.
Now I'm like, is there like different versions of that?
The main version that, as far as I know, is ashes, ashes, because they had to like burn the bodies or something.
Yeah. Whoop, wrong button.
And otherwise, it's basically the same.
That is what that explanation claims the song is truly about.
Oh, wait. No, ring a roses.
Is it an older version?
Ring Around the Rosie is actually apparently the United States version.
Mm.
No, the common British version is ring a roses, a pocket full of posies, tissue, we all fall down.
Ah, okay, because they're in London. That's the version.
Yes, so it was actually correct.
All right, somewhere along the way, localization fucked up in the US.
Wait, what?
A long, long time ago, something fucked up.
Another American version. Ring Around the Rosies, Pocket Full of Posies, Sweetbread, Rye Bread Squats.
I think they lost the plague. It's there.
Yeah, there's actually, I'm looking at older versions of it and I'm like, huh, interesting.
I mean, I guess I'm still like partially correct then that it's an older version because the US version would be the newer one.
Yeah, because the tissue is like 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. And it was specifically because of the sneezing. ...
It's not just this song.
Hey, we learned something on the Aces stream.
Wow. Learning. You know what else we should learn? Someone should hit that Daily Cage fact button.
No!
Cruel truths are often hidden within things that seem joyful and fun on the surface. The same could be said of you as well. The joyful, fun days of adventure were merely superficial. And just below the surface, a monster named Fate awaits, its black mouth agape, awaiting the moment to swallow you whole.
Gosh dang it, Mick!
Thanks, Mick.
What's a good Kingdom Hearts fact? Oh, here's actually one. So, uh, um, you know the game Birth by Sleep, right? And how it's
Well,
set 10
you
years.
want to explain for everyone?
So, there's a game called Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep that's set 10 years before the first game happens. The fact is that the reason that game exists is solely because Nomura wanted to have a scene with like the child versions of Sora and Riku. He basically started with I want a scene with Sora and Riku as children, and then built the entire game like based around that.
Like some Nomura shit.
Like built this elaborate like 10 years ago war between like three people and one old dude, all because he wanted a scene where these two children show up and talk. Did you read this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. It's very overdramatic.
And the moment is now.
There's your Kingdom Hearts fact.
Make sure to mark it as done.
I'm not even on that page.
Fine, I'll mark it as done.
I don't even have the web browser open. What he says carries an undertone of dark and mysterious eeriness, but my body is still numb and immobile.
I should probably reject all of these two flower ones
Yeah,
that were
have
very silly.
have been sitting there for probably almost a year now.
Over a year. They are listed as last year now.
Wow.
And
I-
just don't want to do trans pride Dick Cheney and Dr. Phil and pan pride Dr. Phil and stuff. That's yeah,
I'm
I'm just
unable to
gonna
resist at all as he carries me somewhere. If
refund those points back so that Flower can someday hit the untangent button again.
when we play Arcade Spirits 2,
Probably.
if what he says is true, we're headed for the gaping mouth of fate. He carefully sits me down somewhere, probably on a bed. The numbness of my body is gradually beginning to wear off. I do get the feeling that it's probably better to pretend to be asleep for now and try not to make any sudden movements. ... Saint-Germain stands beside me for a while, but eventually walks away in silence. Carefully, I open my eyes. I'm in a bedroom that's just like my normal room.
That.
I focus on my limbs, trying to get my body to move, but they still won't obey me. Why did Saint Germain drug me? What does he plan to do with me? The door opens once again, and the Count comes back into the room. He's holding a sharp dagger in his hand?
You're up already. You weren't supposed to wake for another 10 hours. I suppose the drug would have a different effect on you than it would on an ordinary person.
What's the dagger for?
Ah, ritual sacrifice.
Oh, this? The blade has been poisoned. It numbs the area around a wound, enabling it to kill without causing any pain.
Saint Germain? I was joking!
Could slice a person's head off while they sleep and they wouldn't feel a thing.
One simple question. What does he plan to do with it? I can think of only one answer.
I can see from your face that I likely don't need to explain what I'm about to use this for.
He continues to speak quietly, as peaceful as always.
This dagger will be used to take your life. It is going to trap you in a peaceful cradle of eternal sleep.
Exactly as I had expected. But I don't feel a great sense of fear, and I simply stare at Saint-Germain, watching him. Seeing my reaction, he cocks his head to one side.
Are you not afraid of me? I did just declare my intention to end your life.
Is he the bad guy? Yes.
It's complicated. I
He's a
don't
little
believe that the
sus.
Saint-Germain I know would do something like that.
He's a little sus. Our eyes lock, and after a few seconds of dead silence,
Would you care to test me?
Saint-Germain retains his usual demeanor. I don't sense any hostility from him. In fact, I can't detect any sort of emotion from him at all.
And save.
And I'm just gonna overwrite that one because we don't need it.
Yes. We will need this one for next time, but
Yeah.
for now, we don't sense any hostility from him, right? We don't need to resist.
He is very sus, and I haven't even been able to catch all of this.
Hey, Malik, don't worry. We've just been drugged and he's come with a poisoned dagger and declared his intention to kill us.
I'm gonna trust Saint-Germain. Yeah, I'm gonna trust him. He won't go through with this. I simply stare at him. Saint-Germain readies his dagger. Then for a moment he averts his eyes slightly. I can't help but smile. See, I knew it. There is no way Saint-Germain would. There's a dull thud as something hits me. But I don't feel any pain or impact. Confused, I look down at myself.
He did explain about the poison. Oh.
I see that a silver blade has been lodged deep into my body. As soon as I see it, I can feel my consciousness fading.
Saint Germain.
Good night. I pray that you have sweet dreams.
Say that right before you kill somebody in Among Us. Saint-Germain stares at me. His smile is peaceful, but his eyes are sadder than I've ever seen. My eyelids become heavy, and I close my eyes. The last thing I feel is warm drops of water falling on my face. Ah, they must be Saint-Germain's tears. As I think this, I fall into an eternal sleep from which I will never awaken. Okay, game's over. We did it.
Game end.
We did it. We beat the game.
The game has ended. We're done.
We're done. Time to move on. No.
Like I said, we will reach the bad end.
I'm just loading this not because we're going into it. So why does he kill you? We'll find out next time. Maybe. Not actually. We'll probably not find out for a while.
What's his deal? I don't know, but he killed us. Actually, I do know, but I'm not saying it.
What's his deal? Well, he literally walked in and said, "Ah, yes, this dagger, it's for murdering you specifically."
It's poison so that you won't feel any pain. I could slice someone's head off and they wouldn't even know in their sleep.
You were
And I'm
supposed
gonna use it to kill you.
You were supposed to be sleeping for another 10 hours.
I guess I should have known it wouldn't affect you the same. Well, shit. Rip.
So about that,
A little rip.
so about that stems into Yandere.
It's
Hmm?
I mean, it's not yandere in the sense that he kills you because he loves you or anything like that kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
It is the closest thing to yandere. It certainly dips quite far into that before it comes back.
It does a 180 real quick.
I will say that I do like him a lot by the end.
Ah, after he murdered us.
That's a bad end. That's a bad end. I mean, he just declared his intention to kill us regardless of our option. But that's he doesn't kill us in the actual end.
Maybe.
He doesn't kill us in the actual like good end.
How can I be sure about that?
So I'm telling you. Look, AC's not immortal. Finis was until he gave me permanent death.
Can you be immortal and have a permanent death?
Well, in the way that he was immortal.
However that is.
Mm-hmm.
Clones or something, I don't know.
That's more spoiler.
Okay, but not like I know. I'm just pulling that off the top of my head.
You'll find out in the Lupin route. You find out a lot of things in Lupin route.
I assume I find out a lot of things in the Lupin route.
The Lupin route basically like swoops through everyone's routes and goes, let me just tie up this end. Oh, let me tie up this end real quick. Oh, let me just handle that real quick. Oh, you weren't even wondering about this, but just in case you were, I'm going to tie up that too.
Are there going to be things that we're literally going to get to in the Lupin route and be like, I forgot about this?
Anyway, so this is why Mickey was shirtless.
And on that note, thank y'all for joining.
Thanks for joining. Bye.
We'll be back on Wednesday for Dating Satan.
Not me, Satan, though.
Satan
But I
playing.
guess I am voicing him.
Satan playing Satan.
Yeah, huh? I guess so.
Have a good.
We're not going back through the other Massard ending,
No.
are we?
No.
Okay. I might speed through it on my own then, just so I get the achievement.
Well, I think we were basically at the end. Like,
yeah.
But no. Let's just finish the game so we can move on to something else. Not that I hate that game, but like,
it's just, especially with playing alternating between Wednesday and Sunday, it takes longer per game.
It's like, it's not like I hate that game, but it's also like,
we've been playing this game for like a year now. On and off, I think.
Well, the first two were like two random ones when you were like visiting somebody, or no, when you were house sitting.
I was house sitting.
Yeah, so it was like we did two, like, and then it was a while and we came back.
Yeah.
But it's been consistently, like, almost consistently Sunday. But yeah, we'll be back Wednesday. Thank you all for joining. Have a good rest of your day.
Don't be too terrified of Saint-Germain coming in your streams. Bye!
What the crap?